Marvelous hello, friends and loved ones, how are you today? You know, it's been a little while since I've done a review on a Megami Tensei game, and I figured it's about time I do another one. Except, I want to try something a little different today. I don't want to do one that takes place in Japan, or has a compelling and likable cast of characters. Is there anything more in the generic fantasy RPG realm? Oh, you bet there is. Revelations the Demon Slayer, or as it's known in Japan, Last Bible. I'm probably going to be flipping back and forth between these two names throughout the video because the Demon Slayer just isn't all that memorable of a name. This was also the second and final MegaTen game Atlas USA published under the Revelations title, with the first being Revelations Persona, which, the less said about that, the better, until the day I inevitably do a video on it. This was the only Last Bible game to ever get localized in the States, but if you couldn't tell from my cheeky, awkwardly written introduction, this is essentially a MegaTen series with a much more fantasy aesthetic to it. Instead of modern-day Japan, where the dungeons are malls and hospitals, we're in a place where we explore mountains, forests, caves, that sort of stuff. The basic premise of Revelations the Demon Slayer is as follows. Long ago, gods wielded powers of telekinesis, teleportation, telepathy, television, that was known as Gaia. Cut ahead to the town of Moila, where our protagonist, L, is finally finished training under his master Zodia to be, I don't know, a Gaia master, I guess. And as a reward for his training, is granted his own sword. It's pretty tight. But before you can even say overused fantasy cliche, L's town is attacked by monsters? Excuse me for 1 second. Yep, says so right here. The Demon Slayer. Just saying, it's kind of weird to change the name of the game to The Demon Slayer if you're not once gonna refer to them as demons. Everyone cool with me just calling them demons for the sake of this video? I hope so, because I already recorded all the narration. Demons are attacking, and L sets out on a quest to figure out where they came from, what they want, and how to get rid of them. Along his journey, he'll make new friends in the forms of Quiche? Kishi? Quiche? I'ma call him Quiche, a magician who wants to wipe out the demons, and Uranus, a high priestess's daughter who believes that they're good and wants to save them. I'm aware it's probably Uranus, but L and friends will encounter quite a few factions and characters as the game progresses, primarily the 4 Gaia Masters, Mephist, Virile, Baal, and Lucifer. Powerful, respected figures that help protect the people from the demons and make sure the 3 sacred orbs don't fall into the wrong hands. The monsters want the orb. Should I give it to them? I feel safe with these guys around. And at first, that's essentially the plot of Last Bible. Go to a town, learn what the problem is, go off to a nearby dungeon, solve the problem, and return for some sort of reward and a clue as to where to go next. For example, after Quiche and I kill Devil to protect the orb, we return to the Gaia Masters for some good old-fashioned gratitude. That guy wasn't much trouble if you were able to defeat him, right? You're welcome! While the game may be called Revelations the Demon Slayer, you don't have to slay every demon you come across. At its core, this is a Megami Tensei game, and what would a MegaTen game be without demon negotiation? Well, I guess it'd be Digital Devil Saga, a game many people consider to be one of the crowning achievements for the entire franchise, but the point is, most of the demons you encounter in this game can be recruited into joining your team and fighting for you. And the ones that can't are usually just horrible. Like these KBs. These guys are the worst. You can't recruit them onto your team, they usually travel in groups of 2 or 3, have a fair amount of HP, and do way too much damage. These little jerks killed me more often than any boss in the entire game. Aside from demons, you'll often find yourself face to face with the Zord, a gang of what I'm assuming are humans intent on gaining enough power to permanently wipe out the demons, and who are first encountered after they kidnap Uranus for being a demon sympathizer. Their hunger for Gaia knows no bounds, and they'll trample anyone who gets in their way. Another character you'll occasionally run into is this guy. His name is Hada. He and his demon wife were banished for their relationship, and he now seeks to find answers as to why demons have such short lifespans, and to find a place he and his wife can live in peace. Hada? Cavorting with demons?
Have you no shame? Have you no decency? Have you no... Well, maybe he's onto something.
Last Bible is fairly simple as far as mechanics are concerned, and longtime fans of the fantasy JRPG genre will feel right at home with how it all works. You'll always be in a town, a dungeon, or the world map. Most of the game's dungeons are pretty short and linear, with a couple hidden items down some of the paths. Battles are turn-based, you can attack, cast magic, use items, or guard. All three characters have various spells they learn through leveling up, and a few that can only be earned by doing side quests. Upon leveling up, you're free to customize how your characters grow, putting points into whichever stat you want. At certain points in Elle's journey, sleeping at the inn will trigger a dream sequence with this angelic woman known as the Force Goddess. She often gives cryptic clues and advice on what Elle needs to do, and that he needs to harness the powers of the Force.
Star Wars.
Elle and friends eventually breach the Zord Castle, which is not to be confused with the Zord Nest we breached earlier, where he learns that his former master, Zodia, is the one who created the Zord in order to collect Gaia and wipe out the demons once and for all. Believing us to be on his side, Zodia informs us that the Gaia Masters are working with the demons, even going as far as to murder Uranus' father, Raphael, who is one of the high priests that helps guard the orbs.
What? Lucifer is a bad guy? No.
Upon confronting the Gaia Masters in the town of Atlantis, they say they didn't kill anybody, and I mean, why would they lie about that? But just to be on the safe side, we should probably infiltrate the sewers and sneak around. And it's only once we're in the castle that we overhear Mephisto clearly and intricately telling a group of demons that the orbs need to be delivered to the land of Terra, and that it was them, the four Gaia Masters, Mephisto, Virile, Baal, and Lucifer, that created the demons.
What? Lucifer is a bad guy? No.
The Gaia Masters have successfully tricked people into believing that the Zord are the ones who killed the High Priest and stole the orbs, turning them into an angry mob that attacks and slaughters the inhabitants of the Zord town of Dalo, which is not to be confused with the Zord Nest or Zord Castle. Luckily, a few survivors are willing to help us out. A member of the Zord who gives us a key, and this dude named Sid, Hillam, who is so grateful we saved him, he's going to build us an airship, ark. At the end of the Zord headquarters, which is not to be confused with the Zord Nest, Zord Castle, or Zord Town of Dalo, Zodia vows that he will train hard to stop the Gaia Masters. Then we kill him for some reason. But before dying, asks us to do the very thing he just vowed to do. With Zodia dead and the Gaia Masters' plan to rule the world through demonic powers, Elle and friends are the only ones who know the truth. So Mephisto stays behind to try and kill us, but we're able to do a stop him. With our new airship, Ark, the group is able to travel to Terra, the land of the demons, stopping only for a quick murder of Virile on the way there. There isn't too much to do in the land of Terra, but the final dungeon of this game may just have the greatest name I've ever heard for an evil lair. The Luciferium! Before reaching Lucifer, we kill Baal, for no other reason than we had to do it at some point, and finally make it to the big guy himself. As head Gaia Master and Lord of the Demons, Lucifer isn't going to go down without a fight. He explains to Elle that the demons need the orbs in order to stay alive, and he won't desert them.
Oh yeah? Well, we humans need them for... They're very pretty.
Lucifer comes at us in full-on Super Saiyan mode, and he is incredibly tough. Even with the best armor in the game, and even having no problems taking down Baal just a few minutes ago, Lucifer is capable of killing characters in just 1 or 2 hits. I definitely had to go to a bit of grinding before taking this guy down for good. With Lucifer's dying breath, he asks Elle to be the ones to look after the demons in his stead. And with the orbs back in our possession, the game actually becomes pretty clear at this point. In classic Megami Tensei style, the moral of this game was that both sides, Quiche and the Zord's desire to eradicate the demons, or Uranus's and the Gaia Master's will to put the demons above all else, are both incredibly stupid. And that only Elle, and I guess that one dude Hada, who use both the powers of Gaia and the Force, will create a world where humans and demons can live together in peace. We're visited by the Force Goddess one final time, who tells us how awesome we are, and then the credits roll. Revelations the Bible Slayer is certainly an odd game. It doesn't really have a lot of the stuff we expect from a traditional MegaTen game, but it also feels lackluster in a lot of the things we expect from our fantasy JRPGs. Like the moral of the story, it just kind of exists somewhere in the middle, that neutral territory. And that makes it really hard to recommend. I mean, I wouldn't say this game is bad, but I wouldn't say it really does anything to make it particularly good either. It's just a fun little experience. After the credits roll, you're allowed back into the world of the game to just keep grinding and adventuring. You can even stumble upon Lucifer, Baal, and Virile in amnesiac states where they'll join your team. Not Mephisto, though. We super killed him. Also, look at how much HP these guys have. Of course, since the game is over, the only purpose they serve is to be super powerful if you ever want to fight your friends in a link cable match. Yeah, so who wants to... Oh. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my review on Revelations the Demon Slayer. I've always found this game an interesting addition to the MegaTen franchise, and I'm happy I could share it with you all. If you liked this video, you could help me out a lot by clicking that like button, or typing up a nice comment. To make sure you don't miss out on any of my future videos, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Or if you want to watch another one of my videos right now, you can click that TV to see what my top 10 games of 2016 were. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care. Take that, you capey jerks! Who's killing who now?